My name's Dr. Mark Colgate. I teach the course called the 8 Moments of Power in Business. The course is an intersection between social psychology and business practices. I developed the course a few years ago after being 3 years of the General Manager of Customer Satisfaction at Commonwealth Bank, where we took the bank from being worst in customer satisfaction to the best. And I realized that by using human behavior principles, you could fundamentally change how a business runs. So the course was developed to ensure that team leaders, managers, CEOs, any leader inside an organization understands human behavior so they can impact customer service, sales, how you deal with your employees, project management, any number of areas can benefit from understanding how people behave as it relates to business practices. The first moment of power is the power of context, and it kind of sets the stage for the next 7. Human behavior is extremely sensitive to the context in which it resides. So we look at the culture inside an organization, the contrasts you provide to your customers, even the physical environment. And the idea is the more that you reshape the context in which your business operates, the more successful you're going to be. The second moment of power is the power of expertise, and that's the idea that when a customer meets an employee from your organization, they hope that they'll meet an expert, someone who has the right knowledge, someone who they can trust, someone they have confidence in. So what we talk about with the power of expertise, which is the most important moment out of all of them, is that how do you create that expertise? So we talk about the importance of coaching your employees, the importance of practicing, and even a leader demonstrating to an employee what they would like them to do. Then we talk about, well, why is it the most important moment of power? And we look at the social psychology behind that, and why do we follow experts? And then finally, we talk about how to demonstrate that expertise in front of a customer. Just because you have that expertise doesn't mean that you'll be able to demonstrate it. So we talk about level 1, which is professionalism, and how to execute and be a professional in front of the customer, and then level 2, how to be proactive with your expertise to pass off some of the control and education to the customer. Moment of power number 3 is the power of liking. And this moment of power with the power of expertise really explains virtually all you need to know about delivering service excellence. If a customer walks away and they say, that employee was an expert and I like them, then you've really almost cracked the code of delivering world-class service. So in terms of the power of liking, we talk about having the right mindset. We can tell in a microsecond whether someone wants to serve us or not. So we talk about how you develop the right mindset to serve the customers. Then we talk about personalization, and that really liking hinges on the power of personalization. We talk about how that's only limited by your imagination. And then we can look at things such as even complimenting your customers. We love it when we get a compliment from a customer. We look at the power of giving a customer a compliment and how that impacts them as well. Moment of power number 4 is the power of problem handling. This really relates to reliability, that customers expect you to get it right first time, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes even the customer makes mistakes. So how we handle problems when they occur from a customer's point of view is critical. So we talk about what is the impact of problem handling, what changes when you handle a problem well, and what changes when you handle a problem badly. What does the customer think of you? We then look at how you handle problems effectively, and we look at the importance of getting the right outcome, the right process, and the right interaction. We talk about the customers really want justice and fairness at that point. And so the more you can do to provide a fair outcome, a fair process, and a fair interaction makes them view you as a very different organization. And in many ways, it's the most important moment of power because it's a chance to really show the customer how valuable they are. When they've had a problem and you're willing to handle it well, it can really change the whole relationship you have with them. So the moment of power number 5 is the power of going first. And the idea is that when you go first and you do something for someone that is meaningful, personalized, and unexpected, it can really change the relationship you have with them. But very rarely do we think about how we can go first or even go first. We usually tend, if we walk into a room, we kind of think, well, how can someone in this room help me? What we practice in the class is to turn that around. When you walk into a room, it's how can I help someone in this room? And the idea is that If you go first, then at some point you'll get that back in the relationship you have with someone. So we talk about how you're only limited by your imagination in terms of how you can go first, and we practice how we can go first. And even going first in a social media context. Social media gives us so many opportunities to go first that we never had before. Moment of power number 6 is the power of not losing. This course is really so much about how we're hardwired to do things, and one of the things that we're really hardwired to do is to avoid losing. We really hate losing, and so what we talk about is how, as an organization, you need to communicate with your customers in a way where they realize that doing things that they avoid losing is generally in their benefit. So we talk about strategies and techniques and the language that you can use to activate that principle of not losing. Moment of power number 7 is the power of getting a customer commitment. As human beings, when we make a commitment, everything changes. When you make a commitment that's voluntary and that is active, then we will live by those commitments. However, if customers don't make commitments, then anything can happen. So we talk about how you get customers to make commitments, why commitments are important, and how you can actually use them in your practice. The final moment of power is the power of the crowd. It's my actual personal favorite, which is one of the reasons why I leave it to last. Right, I always like finishing with my favorite moment of power, and it's about how we follow other people. We are social creatures, and if people are doing things that we think are in our best interest, we will follow them. But we need to harness that from a business perspective. We need to realize that our customers want to know what other customers are doing. So when we can tell customers what other customers are doing to help them make a decision, that can be a real benefit to them and a real benefit to us.